Welcome to this edition of News Today, a series where we briefly discuss and analyze important news of the day. Without delay, let's explore today's headlines. 285th report of Law Commission recommends criminal defamation to be retained as part of new criminal laws. In Union Interim Budget 2024-25, gender budget shows the largest ever rise of 38.6%. PM Gati Shakti to be utilized for 3 new major railway corridors announced under Interim Budget 2024-25. Blue Economy 2.0 scheme announced in Union Interim Budget 2024-25. Government issues guidelines for pilot projects for utilizing green hydrogen in the shipping and steel sector. 22nd Law Commission submits 284th report titled Prevention of Damage to Public Property. Starting with the first news. 285th report of Law Commission recommends criminal defamation to be retained as part of new criminal laws. The report highlighted that reputation flows from Article 21 and being a facet of right to life and personal liberty needs to be adequately protected against defamatory speech and imputations. Defamation is considered a reasonable restriction under Article 19 Clause 2 to the freedom of speech and expression in Article 19 Clause 1a. Defamation is any false statement published or spoken deliberately, intentionally, knowingly with the intention to damage someone's reputation. In India, defamation is categorized as either criminal or civil. Under criminal defamation, individuals can be charged with an offense punishable by imprisonment or a fine. Civil defamation, on the other hand, involves filing a lawsuit seeking compensation for damages caused by defamatory statements. Now let's have a look at the legal and constitutional provisions of criminal defamation. The Indian Penal Code 1860 has comprehensive provisions pertaining to criminal defamation from Section 499 to 502. Section 499 deals with the overall definition of defamation, and Section 500 deals with punishment up to 2 years imprisonment or fine or both. The Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023 adds community service as punishment as well. Additionally, Section 124A of IPC includes defamation against the state as an offense of sedition. Lastly, let's also have a look at some Supreme Court judgments in this regard. In reference to Subramanian Swamy vs. Union of India 2016, Supreme Court upheld the Section 499 to be constitutionally valid. And in Chamanlal vs. State of Punjab 1970, Supreme Court established the criteria for providing good faith and bona fide in defamation cases.
Moving on to the next news, in Union Interim Budget 2024-25, gender budget shows the largest ever rise of 38.6%. The gender budget components accounted for 6.5% of the total budget. Also, the allocation of women-specific schemes such as Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana has been increased considerably. Let's start by first understanding about gender budgeting. Gender budgeting aims to ensure that public resources are collected and spent efficiently based on differing gender needs and priorities. In India, gender budgeting was started in 2005-2006. It does not indicate a creation of a separate budget for women, rather it seeks to address the specific needs of women. It broadly comprises 2 parts. Part A includes programs that are completely meant for women, and Part B includes all those programs where at least 30% of the provisions are women-centric. It also comes under the Samarthya sub-scheme of Mission Shakti. If we talk about Mission Shakti, then it is an initiative of the Ministry of Women and Child Development to empower women. Mission Shakti's other sub-scheme is Sambal, which promotes safety and security of women. The Ministry of Women and Child Development at Central Similarly Concerned Department act as nodal agency at state, union territories and district level. For its implementation, the Ministry of Finance issued directions to all central ministries or departments to set up gender budget cells. There are also some challenges or concerns faced in gender budgeting. These are lack of coordination between different stakeholders and expertise in gender analysis and data. Lastly, let's also have a look at the ways through which gender budgeting can be made more effective. Firstly, conducting gender analysis of national and sub-national policies along with legal frameworks is necessary. Secondly, assessing the adequacy of budget allocation to implement the gender-responsive policies and programs is crucial. Lastly, conducting and promoting gender-based impact assessments, beneficiary needs assessment further strengthens the efforts.
In our next news, PM Gati Shakti to be utilized for 3 new major railway corridors announced under Interim Budget 2024-25. This project will enable multimodal connectivity, including energy, mineral, and cement corridors, port connectivity corridors, and high traffic density corridors. If we talk about the significance of these three corridors, then these include increased logistics efficiency and reduction of cost of logistics related to rail movement, decongestion of high-density rail routes, facilitation of modal shift from road to rail and to coastal shipping, and reduction of carbon footprint in logistics. Now let's discuss and understand about PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan. It was launched in 2021 for providing multimodal connectivity infrastructure to various economic zones. PM Gati Shakti is based on 6 pillars. First is comprehensiveness. It will include all the existing and planned initiatives of various ministries and departments and will have visibility of each other's activities. Second is prioritization. Through this, different departments will be able to prioritize their projects through cross-sectoral interactions. Third is optimization. The National Master Plan will assist different ministries in planning for projects after identification of critical gaps. For the transportation of the goods from one place to another, the plan will help in selecting the most optimum route in terms of time and cost. Fourth is synchronization. It will help in synchronizing the activities of each department as well as of different layers of governance in a holistic manner by ensuring coordination of work between them. Fifth pillar is analytical. The plan will provide the entire data at one place. Sixth is dynamic. All ministries and departments will now be able to visualize, review and monitor the progress of cross-sectoral projects through the GIS platform. Further, it provides a comprehensive database of the trunk and utility infrastructure, ongoing and future projects of various infrastructure and economic ministries or departments of central government and states or UTs. This data is integrated with the GIS-enabled PM Gati Shakti platform, thereby monitoring the next generation infrastructure projects on a single portal. Its goal is to achieve self-reliance and a $5 trillion economy by 2025. Additionally, it focuses on economic growth driven by 7 engines, namely railways, roads, ports, waterways, airports, mass transport, and logistics infrastructure. Lastly, it incorporates various infrastructure schemes like Bharatmala, Sagarmala, and Udan.
Moving on to the next news. Blue Economy 2.0 scheme announced in Union Interim Budget 2024-25. The Blue Economy 2.0 is a blueprint to make further progress on India's existing initiatives to explore the potential of the Indian maritime blue economy. It aims to promote climate-resilient activities along with restoration and adaptation measures, which will further emphasize on coastal aquaculture and mariculture in an integrated and multi-sectoral approach. Aquaculture includes cultivation of aquatic animals and plants in natural or controlled marine or freshwater environments, whereas mariculture pertains to marine and estuarine waters. Now let us first start by discussing what is blue economy. The blue economy is a sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, improve livelihoods and jobs while preserving the health of ocean ecosystem. It further involves tapping ocean resources for renewable energy, fisheries, ports, shipping and tourism. Also, India's blue economy is estimated to be around $1 trillion. The driving factors of the blue economy includes 7,516.6 km long coastline including island territories, India's 12 major ports along with many non-major ports, exclusive economic zones extended over 2.2 million square kilometers. Various factors limiting the development of blue economy includes threat to maritime security like the recent Houthi attacks, etc., climate change and pollution due to human activities like use of plastics, etc., and various other factors like lack of infrastructure, high operating costs of shipping industry, high installation cost of tidal power plants. Several initiatives have also been implemented by the blue economy, such as Deep Ocean Mission, Mine the Metals in the Indian Oceans, Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, Sagarmala Project, Draft Blue Economy Policy.
Moving on to the next news. Government issues guidelines for pilot projects for utilizing green hydrogen in the shipping and steel sector. Guidelines have been issued by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy under the National Green Hydrogen Mission. These guidelines call for retrofitting existing ships to run on green hydrogen and developing bunkering and refueling facilities on ports for green hydrogen fuels, while also providing for the use of hydrogen in blast furnaces and the substitution of fossil fuels with hydrogen in the steel sector. It holds the significance of both sectors having potential for decarbonization of the economy, reducing dependence on fuel imports through the use of green hydrogen or its derivatives like green ammonia or green methanol as fuel. If we talk about green hydrogen, then it is defined as hydrogen produced by splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen using renewable electricity. Now let's discuss and understand about National Green Hydrogen Mission. The mission was launched in 2023 to facilitate demand creation, production, utilization, and export of green hydrogen. The sub-schemes of mission include Strategic Interventions for Green Hydrogen Transition Program or SITE, which supports domestic manufacturing of electrolyzers and offers incentives for the production of green hydrogen. Also, there are green hydrogen hubs, which identifies regions or areas capable of supporting large-scale production or utilization of hydrogen as green hydrogen hubs. National Green Hydrogen Mission outcomes include 5 million metric ton of hydrogen by 2030, 60 to 100 gigawatt electrolyzer installations, 6 lakh new green jobs, 125 gigawatt renewable energy for green hydrogen production, 50 million metric ton of carbon abatement cumulatively, and investments of over 8 lakh crore rupees.
Moving on to the next news. 22nd Law Commission submits 284th report titled Prevention of Damage to Public Property. The 22nd Law Commission took suo motu cognizance to prepare the report on account of rising incidents of vandalism and consequent loss to the state exchequer. Also, it highlighted the issue of willful obstruction of public place or way. It said that only some states have provisions for dealing with obstructions on public pathways. If we talk about its key recommendations, then these include amendment in the Prevention of Damage to Public Property Act 1984. It should include one of the conditions for bail should be the deposit of an amount equivalent to the estimated value of the property damaged. Next is to enact comprehensive law dealing with willful obstruction. Also, related provisions can be included in Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Now let's discuss the constitutional and legal provisions. Fundamental right under Article 19 implicitly contains the right to protest. However, demonstrations which create nuisance and disturbances are not covered under it. Fundamental duties in Article 51A, which indicates the duty of every citizen to safeguard public property and to abjure violence. Prevention of Damage to Public Property Act 1984 contains provisions dealing with mischiefs resulting in damage of public property. Section 425 to 440 of the Indian Penal Code deal with it. Several sections of Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita deal with it. Let's also have a look at the related Supreme Court judgments. In Bharat Kumar v. State of Kerala 1997, the Supreme Court directed public authorities to initiate action for recovery of the damages caused to the state property. And in other case, that is destruction of public and private properties versus State of Andhra Pradesh 2009, the Supreme Court suo motu appointed 2 committees, also provided guidelines on the basis of the recommendation.
The place in news for today is Catalonia with its capital Barcelona. It is in news as Catalonia has declared a state of emergency as it faces its worst drought on record. Talking about its political features, it is an autonomous region of Spain and is located in the northeast of Iberian Peninsula. It shares boundary with France and Andorra in north and Mediterranean Sea in east. Talking about its geographical features, the Pyrenees mountain range separates Catalonia from France. It falls under Mediterranean climate. In this type of climate, summers are hot and dry, whereas winters are rainy. Its major river is Ebro River. As we conclude today's main news, let's take a look at some quick updates. Delhi High Court has observed that the property seized under Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002 has to be returned if the probe goes without proceedings after 365 days. It also said such seizure violates Article 300A of the Constitution. Article 300A provides that no person shall be deprived of his property except by authority of law. The US has announced a steep increase in fees for various categories of non-immigrant visas like H-1B, L-1 and EB-5, the most popular among Indians. H-1B visa allows US companies to employ foreign workers in specialty occupations that require theoretical or technical expertise. L-1 visa is a visa category in the US that is designed for intra-company transferees. It allows multinational companies to transfer certain employees from their foreign offices to work in the US temporarily. Interim Budget has proposed to mandatorily register for IST for companies with branches in multiple cities to claim input tax credit. Input tax credit is the tax that a business pays on a purchase and that it can use to reduce its tax liability when it makes a sale. Input service distribution is a mechanism that allows billing of common input services to one location of the company and permitting it to distribute it to its branches with separate GST registration. Ghar or Go Home and Reunite portal was launched earlier by the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. The portal digitally monitors and tracks restoration and repatriation of children as per the protocols under the Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act 2015. Study of asteroid Ryugu samples has provided evidence that organic molecules which gave rise to life to our planet were brought here by ancient comets. Comets are frozen leftovers from the formation of the solar system composed of dust, rock and ice. Samples were brought by the Hayabusa 2 and asteroid sampling spacecraft of Japan. Town of Luang Prabang in Laos, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is facing the threat of losing its UNESCO status due to a dam project on the Mekong River. Town reflects the fusion of Lao traditional urban architecture with that of the colonial era. Mekong River is a transboundary river in Southeast Asia originating in glaciers of Tibet and drains in South China Sea. World Wetland Day 2024 was celebrated at Sirpur Lake, Indore, Madhya Pradesh with the theme Wetlands and Human Wellbeing. World Wetland Day is observed on 2nd February every year worldwide to commemorate the signing of the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands of International Importance in 1971. India has been a party to the convention since 1982. The President inaugurated the 37th Surajkund International Crafts Mela at Surajkund, Haryana. Surajkund Mela showcases the richness and diversity of the handicrafts, handlooms and cultural fabric of India. It is the largest crafts fair in the world. In 2013, the fair was upgraded to an international level. Its partner nation is Tanzania and theme state is Gujarat. Its cultural partner is Northeastern Handicrafts and Handlooms Development Corporation. Before we go, it's time to put your knowledge to test in today's segment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you have enjoyed this edition of News Today. To get the answers to today's quiz and to download the PDF of News Today, make sure to check out the links in the description below.